part 2 of our Fjuka'ering experiment on good old squats to see whether they turn red. So if those of you recall, yesterday we soaked some bread in a bit of milk and we mixed it up in this little pot. We've added some Fjuka'ering into that, into the milk, and then obviously treated some bread, put that in, put the squats in with the idea of leaving them overnight to see what happens, with the hope that obviously they'll ingest the bread because we keep them fresh by feeding them on bread and milk, and hopefully as we do with other bits and bobs, they'll take on the colour and turn red. So what's happened? Interesting actually, and I was quite surprised at this. Right, I'll say one thing, they've been hungry because they have absolutely mullered that half a slice of bread. Bearing in mind it was the thick toasty Warburton, so it's quite thick. I know it's only half a slice, but we only put a small amount in. As you can see, they have proper mullered that. They've really eaten it. But the strange thing is, they're still white. Now that is really sort of interesting. Look at that. That's well and truly mullered. So, and they're on that feeding lot. So I was going to say they've even took a tinge of it, but they haven't. That's really bizarre, because you would think the dye, because obviously we all know that these dyes, the dye ground, dye my hands look, dye ground baits and all sorts, and use them a lot. I use them an awful lot, especially the powder ones, to dye things. So how bizarre. But one thing I can say is it's not put them off feeding on it, and in fact I'd say they're probably eating that better than normal putting them on milk. So I don't know. So I use the powders an awful lot for dyeing pinkies, but that's obviously added to the outside of them. So you clean them up, take the grease off, degrease them, and we add the powder to it. But these are obviously fed on that dye, with a view to hopefully taking on the dye and changing colour, but they haven't. So maybe that's another experiment then, is I will mix some of the powder with a bit of water and then add that to the milk and then add that to the bread and see whether that's any different. But there you go, worth an experiment, wasn't it? All right, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll try some other bits and bobs, but yeah, I just found it interesting, bizarre really, isn't it? But yeah, speak to you soon. Cheers guys, bye bye.